It's time for another test knit for Amanda of Lovely by Lee. Here's the deal. Amanda of Lovely by Lee has been teasing some garter cardigans lately, and she was testing one that has this really cute daisy lace pattern on it, but I was traveling during that test and I just didn't want to take on the responsibility and the commitment that if, there was a chance that I wasn't going to be as good of a tester as I could be. So I passed on that one. But Amanda was saying that she was going to be working on another garter cardigan that didn't have the lace in it. So the second that I saw it, I signed up for the test. I am testing the Great Garter Bomber, and if you've been following along with my stash journey, whatever we want to call it, my aesthetic stash project, you'll know that I have been trying to reduce the number of skeins I have in my stash and not hit a certain number, but just kind of get a better handle on what I'm working with. So someone suggested that I do a challenge for myself and try to use my oldest yarn. So what that means is I have a whole bunch of Lion Brand jeans yarn. So I have 3 skeins here. There's one missing, which you will see in a moment. And then this is, I believe, the only time that I counted partial skeins as full items in my stash count. So this counted as 4 things, even though clearly I think this is a full skein, but the rest of them are not. But this is counting as 4. So technically, altogether, this is 7 units of Lion Brand jeans. Now, I have a little confession to make. I kind of forgot to start vlogging. So I have done the entire back panel up to the sleeve separation, and I just finished the front right. So now I just have to do the front left, and then I will be joining to work the body. It's not very pretty right now. It's really scrunched up because I am being lazy slash, what's the word? Smart? Lazy slash smart. We'll go with smart. And leave it all on one cable while I am picking up the front sections. So then once I am ready to start knitting around the whole thing, I will be good to go and I don't have to use any spare cables. So yeah, I'm using Lion Brand jeans in the color Top Stitch for this, and I do really like this yarn. I love it, but I've used this for a lot of projects. I have had this yarn in my stash since 2020, which actually isn't so bad. When I went back to look at what was the oldest yarn in my stash, I was like, oh, that's not too bad. It was the fall of 2020, so it's been pretty much exactly 3 years, which, to be honest, I thought it would be worse than that. But I have made a lot of projects with this yarn. When I got it in 2020, I bought like 14 skeins, maybe more. So I've made a blanket with it. I made shorts with it. Now I'm making this cardigan with it, and I am definitely, I don't think I'm going to be using all of those 7 balls that I showed, but whatever is left over, I am going to be passing along to my mom for her knitting and crochet groups because I'm done. Me and Lion Brand jeans, especially just this color, we're gonna take a break. Maybe I just need some rejuvenation with a different colorway of it, because it is really great yarn and I do recommend it. I'm just tired and I'm very much looking forward to having the rest of the scraps of it out of my stash. So I will try to be better about checking in. Sorry for this very long intro slash almost halfway point update. I'll try to do a lot more check-ins because I'm going to have a lot more different pieces and aspects of the construction to show moving forward. So, oops. I'm kind of halfway through the body already. So it looks like it doesn't fit me right now because it is very scrunched up on these needles. I think I will try and get a longer cord so that when I try it on next time, it will be more accurate. But I have almost 4 inches done of the body, and I'm supposed to go to 8 inches and then do my ribbing. Hello. Weirdly, I had my phone on Do Not Disturb and it still rang. I don't know what that was about. But anyway, I am about halfway through the body. I'm in love with it. Garter's so much fun and so squishy, and it's the best. And I will try to do another check-in before the entire cardigan is done. We'll see. I definitely think the body is going to like completely fly, and then I'm going to stall out on the sleeves. But fingers crossed that I keep this momentum because I have a bunch of other things that I want to make too, and I want to wear this. How many times can I lie in one vlog? Apparently a lot. So if you couldn't tell, I'm done. So here's what happened. Basically, I know, oh my gosh. My dog is wiggling like crazy because she's very excited that I'm done too. Huh. Yeah. Okay. The body flew because garter knit flat. Easy peasy. My row gauge for the garter was smaller than Amanda's, so I had to add a few extra rows of garter to get to the measurements written in the pattern. Not many, but just a couple. But then somehow my row gauge for the ribbing was larger than Amanda's. So to get to the written length in the pattern, I had to do a few less rows of ribbing. So the ribbing went super fast too. Then I did basically what I did is I picked up a sleeve and then like knit a tiny bit of it. And when I was tired of it, I did one of the front edgings and then did a little bit more of a sleeve, did another front edging, did a little bit of the sleeve, did the collar, just to kind of like break things up for myself. Oh my gosh, sorry. I was just running around doing a bunch of stuff around the house and then decided to sit down and film this, and I should have given myself a break because now I'm out of breath. So basically I was giving myself breaks from the garter sleeves, which stink. Not the pattern's fault, just the nature of garter stitch in the round means you have to knit around and then purl around. So I was giving myself little breaks by doing the edgings in between, but then I ended up with like a whole sleeve that I had to do without any breaks in between because everything else was done. So I brought this with me to Rhinebeck, worked a little bit on it in the car when I wasn't playing with my new goodies that I got at Rhinebeck. And then basically when I got back from Rhinebeck, I powered through, really just forced myself to suck it up and get through the sleeves. One thing that I did to help myself kind of like get over the mental block a little bit is I made sure that whenever I was putting a sleeve down, I had just done a purl row. So that meant that when I picked it back up, I was always going to be on a knit row, and it kind of like, I knew I had to purl the next round, but it made my brain think like, oh, you're just knitting, so it's fine. And so it would kind of get me past that little barrier, and I would get a knit round done, and then, okay, I was already going, so I might as well do a purl round. And then I wanted to do another knit round because they're better. But then I would think, okay, well, you have to end with a purl round, so I'd have to do another purl round. But then I would want to do another knit round, because I like knitting better. And then I would say, well, you have to end with a purl around, so I would do another purl around. And it kind of helped me get through it. It was a little bit like that, the idea of when you're knitting self-striping socks, you kind of always want to get to the next stripe. That kind of helps me a lot with getting through the these garter stitch sleeves. So let's see. I did, other than the little bit where I said that in the garter sections, I had to add a few rows to get to the measurements, and in the ribbing sections, I had to take out a few rows to get to the measurements. That's all I did in terms of modification. And it's not like a true modification, that's just knitting to the measurements of the pattern. Yeah, nothing else that I did in terms of modifications. Everything is to the pattern. It fits me beautifully. I can't remember if I said at the beginning of this video that I made a size small, which means that I knit it with slightly less ease, positive ease than recommended. But what's really cool is that because of that, because I have just a little bit less ease, I don't think I have negative ease. I think I have like neutral ease, technically. And that means that I have worn this as a shirt, like on its own, just buttoned up. I've worn it as a shirt. I have pretty much worn this like 3 or 4 times a week since I finished it. I finished it a while ago and I just haven't sat down to film this, mostly because I've been wearing it all the time and haven't like wanted to get my camera out and do this little section where I talk about what I've done. I've just been wearing it everywhere and I can't handle how much I love it. I added these buttons. So I have these, my buttons don't match. I have 3 of these kind that have this little divot in them, and then 2 of these like stripy buttons. And I feel like I've been saying buttons weird. Buttons. Anyway, I have this kind of multi-pack of buttons that I got from Michael's, and like nothing matches in there, but I was able to find 3 that matched and 2 that matched, and they're the same size, so it worked out great. The rest of this yarn, I had basically the equivalent of 1 skein left in kind of like bits and bobs, and it has been passed along to my mom and all of her knitting friends and crochet friends, and I am so glad to have this out of my stash. But let me tell you that this is so comfy. This is really good yarn. Lion Brand jeans is amazing, and to be honest, I wish they would make this yarn in so many more colors. Like just having it in jeans colors is such a disservice to the yarn line because it's so good. Lion Brand, make this yarn in all of the colors, please, because I love it. I love it, and I would like it in more than blue, black, and this goldy top stitch color. Yeah, that is all I have to say. I will pop in some pictures at the end of my finished bomber. The pattern is available now, so you can go grab it from Amanda of Lovely by Lee. It is amazing. This is one of my comfiest objects that I own. I love having this in my wardrobe. I really, really want to make another one. I just need to get over my purling problem. We'll see. We'll see if I can get past it. There is something about Amanda's patterns that are so multi-makeual. Is that a thing? Let's call it that. I always want to make multiples of Amanda's patterns, and I don't make multiples of things very often. This is so comfy, and I really want another one. Maybe one with a lot more positive ease? I don't know. We'll see. Go check out Amanda and all of the tester versions, and please go help Amanda celebrate the release of the Great Garter Bomber. So until the next time Amanda has a pattern that I can test, because I know I will be there. Take care of you, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.